Now joined by the head baseball coach at Army West Point, Jim Foster. And Coach, thanks for giving us a couple of minutes today.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Let's go back about a month now. Your team was the last team to have an official contest at West Point this year. What was that moment like for you when you guys found out, hey, there's no more baseball this year?
Yeah, we didn't really know. We won that last game. We won our last three games. The team was starting to play pretty well. We didn't know that was going to be our last game. The next day, we went to. I took the team to see the Rays and Phillies. I got on the bus. I still thought we had some games to play that weekend, and our seniors would have that final moment of win or lose, and they were on the field together. So I felt good about that, but. It didn't work out. Everything got canceled, and we had to get them on flights home.
Well, you talk about that senior class. You were hoping they'd have that final moment, but this is a senior class that has been with you now for your entire 4 years at West Point. They came in your first year when they were freshmen. What has that senior class meant to you during your time as a coach at West Point, and how have they kind of helped bring this Army baseball program back to where it's been in the past?
They mean everything to me. They really do. I got here from Boston College, coming off a super regional in 2016, and all of a sudden I'm here, and when you get to West Point, there's a lot to learn about different things, and I felt like a freshman. I came in not knowing a whole lot, and about the school, the people, everybody here, the community. To see them turn into not only the baseball players they've turned into, they've all turned into productive, really good high-level Division I baseball players. They've won a lot of games. They've played in 2 regionals. You see how Logan Smith is throwing the ball. You see all the accolades Jacob Hurtaby's had. You see Crompton, how he's got on the field and been a productive member. Johnny Mack, our first baseman, was leading the team in home runs and ribbies. And, Joe Santoro was doing his thing out of the bullpen. Drake Titus has been a huge contributor throughout the years. So they've done such a great job, not just on the field, but they do great in school. They're great representatives of the team around campus and in the summertime. So I'm just so proud of them. To see the development over 4 years has been probably the most fulfilling thing for me as a head coach since I've been doing this.
No, that senior class, and the other classes got 2 championships over Navy in the last 2 years. Not only did you get those 2 championships as a coach, but you were able to get them over the coach at Navy who you played for in college. What was that moment like for you?
Well, it was great. The first thing, you're happy for the seniors, because the first one, John Rosoff and Matt Ball, they were only 2 seniors, and they really built the program to the point where there was complete buy-in. The culture was where you want it, and between them and the juniors that year, we got it done. And then last year, to have that junior class, which was a lot bigger than 2 the year before. We had, I think, 9 last year. To see those guys get their second one in a row, you're just so happy for the players. To do it at Navy was special. We joke around the first year. I said, "You better get us now," to Costi at Navy, because, the first year is a big adjustment, and you could see that the guys were getting there. We just weren't ready yet, and Holy Cross won it that first year, and then we got the next 2. It's been special to see Costi again. It's been 20 years since we kind of reconnected, and it's nice to get out on the field and battle. But it's always about the guys. Just so happy for them.
Well, you've had the upper leg against them in the championship series the last 2 years, but you've also been able to play some memorable regular season games against them. Game at Fenway Park, a couple of games at Camden Yards, and you're even going to play at Citi Field against the New York Mets in your first year if the weather was going to cooperate. And you've had a chance to play on some of the biggest stages in baseball. What's that like for you as a coach to be able to coach in Fenway? You grew up a Red Sox fan, and to be able to take your team to some major league parks to really showcase them on some of the game's biggest stages.
It's great in a lot of ways. It's great for recruiting. It's great for the fans. It's great for the Army-Navy rivalry. I joke around. It took me 10 years in the minor leagues, and I couldn't get to the big leagues with the Orioles. And my first year at Navy, I get to play at Camden Yards. That was pretty special because I did spend a long time trying to get there as a player in the Orioles organization. And then to be able to play at Fenway is just spectacular. They were great. And then you're right. The first year we got rained out against the Mets, and the Phillies were this year, and hopefully the Yankees are soon. So it's nice to be able to do that. It's just a real special thing for the guys. It's something that they'll have a lifelong memory about, and that's the important thing. They'll never forget that.
Well, you talked about playing in the Orioles system, and you were drafted back coming out of college when you're in Providence, and you see where the game's gone from when you played to now when you're coaching. How has the game kind of changed over the years, and where have you seen the biggest changes in baseball?
Well, back then there was about maybe 40 or 50 teams in the country that took college baseball serious, as a school, university. Now it's about 200. The college baseball business has just boomed. It's grown so much over the years. In the last 20 years, I graduated in 93, started pro ball in 93, rookie ball, got out in 02, and been coaching since. So this will be 17 years. But, it's changed that way. It's just a much bigger business. It's more important to people. You see Omaha growing every single year. We still have a long way to go. We're in a tough spot now with everything that's going on. But I think college baseball come out better. Back when I first started, you didn't want to strike out. I think I finished with one more strikeout than walks over my career. It's something I took pride in. Now it's guys swing for the fence. They're trying to hit the balls in the air. They're trying to hit the balls with a certain launch angle. There's a lot more analytics to it and sabermetrics. It's come a long way in the scientific department. There's much more player development software now. Some good, some bad. All you hear about is Rhapsody and blast motion, different sensors you can put on the guys to coach them up. So offensively, you see a lot of big swings. I think that's one of the things we do good here is we do the little things well, which a lot of teams don't do anymore. And we're a very unselfish team. If we need to cut our swings down and put the ball in play with 2 strikes, we do. I still think there's a certain way you need to play the game. I think on the mound, you see a lot more velocity. Guys are throwing much harder now than they did back then, but they don't really know how to pitch as well. The location isn't there. And, you break pitching down to 3 things: work fast, change speeds, throw strikes. And now it's just throw harder, throw harder, throw harder. So you see a lot of guys. There isn't a weekend that goes by where you don't see 90 to 95, which back in the day, that never happened. You'd see that maybe 3 or 4 times a year. And then on the bases, you don't see guys running as much. And I think that's another thing we do really well. We run the bases really hard. And I think it helps us win some ball games over the course of the year. So we take a lot of pride in running the bases and playing defense. But it's a different game. But it's bigger, stronger, faster athletes. And, a lot more distractions with phones and recruiting, and there's a lot more people doing it and working hard at it. So it's a more difficult job as a coach now. But when you have a beautiful campus like this to show guys, and once you get them here and explain what we're doing, it's pretty exciting.
Coach, thanks for giving us a couple of minutes. Hope you and your family are staying safe, and we look forward to seeing you back at West Point real soon.
Thank you, Zach. Thanks for the time. Take care.